All right. So we have some hands raised. Welcome to the post-session Q&A. So let's see if you have any questions. Kashif, go ahead.
Hello, Dipanshu. Thank you. Just one observation which I had. Actually, my question is solved. Since I wasn't there yesterday due to private meetings, this conditional formatting, how did you make the color to appear in the background of the values?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, we did that yesterday, so I can quickly show you again. So what you have to do is, so we have the threshold conditional formatting. So in the measure triple dot, if I go to my threshold and then view all threshold, this was the threshold we created for unit sold. So if you click on this, okay, so this is the regular thing what we did. Okay. Now, if you don't want this, you want some other format, then what you have to do is you have to go to the styling panel. So in the styling panel, you can do all that. So I will click on apply here and then you click on done and then go to styling panel. In the styling panel, there is an option for threshold style. So in that threshold style, by default, it is your symbols, but you can change it to either values of the color of the values itself or the background. There. And this is where we did the color background. This is more, sometimes this is more appropriate from a customer standpoint, and it can be very intuitive. So that's what
I remember it was in 2022 or somewhere where a customer needed exactly this, but I wasn't, or maybe I did not see it in this styling area, this option, and I just told him that only these symbols are possible, but it's yeah, nice to see.
Yeah, see, sometimes it is hidden in either builder or in styling. So whenever it comes to color or different ways, then styling usually will have that option.
One more thing which I just noticed, Dipanshu, in the last exercise of calculated dimension, did I see that when we were selecting only dimensions and not the properties, then it was showing red error of something?
No, it wasn't showing any red error. So if I go back to this, okay, edit calculation, calculated product customer segment, and go back to FX. Okay, so here what you are saying is, if I remove the property, will it work or not?
Correct.
And here, oh, okay, you're talking about this error. Okay, why this error comes is because both product and customer have hierarchies, right? So if it's a hierarchy based dimension, you have to flatten it. So how you flatten it is put a dot again and then control space. There is a flat presentation option here. Either you can do that or you can just say ID. I want the member ID of product and dot control space. I want the member ID of my customer, and then that goes. This comes when the hierarchy is enabled. But if the hierarchy is not enabled, then I don't think this should come up. So say, for example, if we take a non-hierarchical dimension, which doesn't have hierarchy. So say, for example, country doesn't have hierarchy, and I'm concatenating country with a space and a plus, and then I do some other, which is my maybe order ID. So there is no error there because the dimensions, they are not enabled as hierarchical dimensions. That's why it is already flat. So that's why it was not showing the error.
Got it. Someone, thank you.
No problem. Pradeep, go ahead.
Hi Devanshu, I have two questions. One is related to the single and repeat values, which you were showing in the beginning.
Simple. Yes.
So yeah. So when we do a view and if the end user is looking at the report and he don't know about enabling this formula bar and all, so in that case, can we rename the column subtract or whatever we are doing? So the additional column which will be generated, by any chance, can we rename to a more descriptive that it is being subtracting from column this and this, something like that? Is it possible?
Okay, good question. Let me see. Probably it is. Yes, you can double click on it and you can say
Okay.
my retail minus my wholesale. Yeah. So you just have to double click on it and it should throw you the option to rename it. Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. And my second question is regarding the calculated dimension where we were concatenating two fields, right?
Right.
And yeah, so here it is showing as a mountain and direct mountain and retail. So can this be, can we achieve this in a hierarchical, like for example, we say mountain and under that we can have two different rows which says direct and retail, or the other way. Like for example, if we had to take real scenario in the group reporting, we have financial statement item and accounts which are correlated. Like if we want to merge them, we can do that and we can have it in a single hierarchy as a one column instead of two different columns.
If that is a requirement, then you don't need a calculated dimension. What you can do is you can create the properties of the dimension and create a hierarchy for that. So your question is that for a calculated dimension, can I enable hierarchy? Is that your question?
No, if I want to merge these two different columns and show it in a hierarchical way rather than a flat structure how it is now. So I don't want it in this way, but instead both the columns should be merged and it should show in the hierarchical way. For
then
example,
you have to make yeah. So remember what we did with customer segment and customer status. So if you want a hierarchical way, make them as a property of customer, step number one. Then go to that dimension, customer dimension, make a hierarchy where you set your segment at the top, then your status, and then your customer, or segment and then customer directly, whatever you want as a hierarchy, and then show it here.
Okay. Okay. But not on the fly, we can't do that, right? Like how
on the fly, yeah. So on the fly, if you want to do, that's also a good question. Let me see if I can enable
because this is possible in the analysis for Office. So we can do that, but if the same can be achieved here or not.
I don't think so. Okay. So let me see though. Hold on. Because usually we change the hierarchy by selecting hierarchy, but the hierarchy has to be defined before. So you all should already have a hierarchy defined, then the hierarchy will come in this drop down. Hold on. So here in the properties, no, show total jacket calculate. No, I don't think so. It's possible. Unless, you know, somebody has achieved it, please feel free, but I don't think it's possible. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry. I think the better way is just to, you know, create them as property, create a hierarchy, and then show that as a hierarchy. That's easier. Murthy, go ahead.
There are two questions here, Devanshu. Thanks. First question is basically, I mean, you know, we went through different types of calculative measures and concatenating these all. You know, however, I mean, in real-time scenario, I mean, what is the best way to deal with such kind of complex requirements? Is it a good thing to do on the front end, or you have a medium of doing this in the back end, like, you know, in the BW reporting, the step 1, step 2, before we process, it does the calculations and it provides the results. Is there some sort of feature available here? Or we
So,
do this when we are processing huge set of data. I mean, then these complex calculations or these kind of formulas and all will make or degrade the performance of the application, right? Or the story that we are trying to.
yes, no, good question. So, first of all, you have to assess as a consultant, as an SSC consultant, you have to assess that these formulas are going to operate on a lower volume of data or a very high volume of data. How much volume are we talking about? If it's an import data model, then it will work nicely, even if the volumes are in millions, it will work nicely, no problem. Because in my current project, we have around 1.3 billion records in an import data model, in a planning model. And we have 20 to 25 calculations in one story, and it is rendering in 5 to 10 seconds, not more than that. So for import data model, great, it will work. You don't have to worry. And these, what I have shown is not complex. Trust me, in real world, there will be many more complex calculations and there will be stacked calculations. One measure inside another, calculated inside another, calculated.
Yeah.
So still it will be fine if it's an import data model. If it's a live model and you are creating calculations on the fly, then you have to be very careful because then the performance will definitely degrade. So the best practice guideline from SAP, and I will go through that as well. By the way, if any one of you are interested, I have included the best practices in the notes, and it is also there as a PowerPoint presentation or a PDF presentation here. I'll show you quickly. So you have modeling best practices. This is the best practice guidelines we received from SAP. So there you can see that they have clearly mentioned that you should not, what it should be the performance benchmarking you should do. So less than 1 million limit dimension members without hierarchy, and limit dimension with parent child hierarchy also should be less than 1 million. Model organizations. So try to keep the dimensions limited in the model, make the connected dimensions as a property of the dimension rather than repeating the same value. That you should take care. Volume you should be careful about. And if you want that these calculations are not really required at runtime, then we create something called a data action, which pre-calculates the value, stores it into the model, and then shows on the runtime. So, and also reusability, Murthy. You have to consider that is this formula, is this calculation, will it be reused in another stories across the multiple stories? If the answer is yes, then don't create on the story level, create on the model level. So
And-
those are the best practices you have to keep in mind. And here SAP has given you that in account dimension, avoid large hierarchies with many calculated accounts, limit the usage of the stacked calculated accounts. So don't go too much on the stacked. Instead of that, create multiple accounts and create a data action to populate them and so on and so forth. So yes, that's
and
the
in this,
guideline. But see, as far as these calculations are performed, what I have done, these are very, very simple calculations. These are not complex calculation. And if you have these kind of calculations, then you can without any worry, you can do this. Even if it goes to 15, 20, 25, it's fine.
okay. And if say for example, if you are doing some group reporting, I mean you are doing some further calculations from financial aspects, and if you want to capture the data into the system, is it possible from here when we do kind of calculative measures and all, when we do that? Can
So
we
you
store
want to
that
write the
as-
data back
Yeah,
to the model.
yeah.
That
Is
is
it
possible through data actions. So from data action, you can write the data back into the model.
Okay. And can we export from here to Excel? Like
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
for-
you can.
to this
You can.
exact table, if I want to transpose into.
Yeah, you can export this table.
Tables.
Basically, what you can do is you will go to, first I'll save this. And then you can,
In the 3 dot only, you have the option.
we had right there.
We have export.
1 second.
Export.
Yeah, this one. So the options are CSV and XLSX.
Excellent. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so XLSX you can use. Here you can use point of view or all data. Point of view means whatever is shown on
The
your
current
screen
output.
versus the current. Yeah, the current view versus the all. And then you can indent the hierarchy, including formatting those things. Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Thanks,
No
Dipanshu.
problem. Srilata, go ahead.
Thanks, Dipanshu. A couple of questions. You've shown the story level thresholds. We do have model level thresholds. Can you show how those can be? Because when I try to access it, I don't see create threshold or any option when I go for model level thresholds.
Yeah, let's see. Let's try to explore that. So I also saw the model level threshold. I have not created it yet, model level threshold. What Shrita is talking about, guys, I'll just quickly show you. So remember when we created the threshold, so if you go to the builder and if you go to the sorry.
So if we even go to conditional formatting,
Yeah, we can go to conditional formatting. That's actually better.
yeah,
Yeah, conditional formatting. Yeah, this one, yes.
yeah.
Model defined, thresholds none defined. So let's go there.
Yeah, on the story we can see clearly add threshold, but
Yeah,
models,
yeah.
we don't see.
In models, let's go to models. This one is based on our geo model. So let me go back to my favorites, folder, models, and geo. I think I saw somewhere that option. I just have to find out that option. So this is dimension. And if I go to preferences,
Evenfix is available in the account dimension.
not in the general settings.
No, I don't think so. In accounts, account dimension, you can see.
Only in the account, yeah, because date will not have it. Planning will not have it mostly. Yeah, these are all validation with conversion. Structure priorities, account versus that, date and performance. Yeah, okay, so what you are saying is, so this model will not have it because this is a pure measure-based model. Okay, let's go back to the account model. So we have the flex model. Let's go there. We have the account dimension. Yeah, you're right. I think account dimension probably will have it. Sales account. This is our public dimension. And here, exception aggregation, required dimension,
Exactly.
threshold. This one,
Yes.
mode, this one.
Yes, I can see only this one, but I don't know actually. I didn't create this. Maybe we can try this. Just what is possible, I think.
Yeah, this is the same thing, like your green, yellow, and orange. So,
yes, exactly.
okay. No, you're right. So threshold is there in the account dimension, and we can create a different dimension threshold. The members for that, like for example, the BS underscore asset, balance sheet asset. So what is the threshold for this? If it is less than a particular amount versus more, so you can do that. Okay. Yes, you're right. No, thank you for that. But in general model, when we create a okay, one more thing I want to check. So this is great. No, thank you so much for this. Yeah, because I remember I saw it somewhere, but where exactly I did not remember that. So it is in the threshold in account dimension. Okay.
Because actually, when we want to use thresholds continuously in the different models and something like that, then that's why we created a model level. That's why if you created a story, then it's just only for the story. That's why we cannot use the thresholds for the next.
Story as well.
Exactly.
So if the thresholds have to be reused in multiple stories, then you create an account dimension. But what if you don't have an account dimension? If it's a pure measure-based model, then can we see that? what I want to do for that is, if I go back to our pure measure-based model, no account dimension, I want to create a calculated measure and see if the threshold comes for that. So if I
Maybe
create
we
a,
can try this.
yeah, we can try that. Let's try
Right,
that.
I think.
So here I will say my average customer meetings or average units sold. Okay. Yeah, this is my formula. I'll make this bigger. And then I will say AVG average. There is no average. Absolute exponent, min, max, power.
No.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just use the maximum for now. So max of two values. Okay, it needs two values. So max of my max is not really fine. Absolute we use. Okay. Absolute just need one. So absolute of my units sold. Absolute of units sold. That's fine. Then we'll say okay. And here I want to see we have aggregation type, units and currencies, formatting. No, I don't think so. Scale, formula, aggregation type. Aggregation type, exception aggregation.
Yeah, I think maybe here at the end.
Fixed unit type. No, I don't see that.
No, it's not possible.
I was thinking maybe we will have threshold, scale, decimal, required, exception. No, I don't think so. Yeah, then thresholds can be applied at a account dimension level. Yeah, no, thanks for that. So that's where we'll do it. And if we have that account dimension, basically used for planning purposes. If you have an account dimension, that means you have a hierarchy in the account dimension, and that hierarchy you will set some thresholds at either the top level or any of those node levels, and then use that across. Yeah.
Okay, sure, Devanshu. Thanks for that.
Great. No, thank you. Thanks to Faisal.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
One more question regarding.
Yeah, you have another question, right?
Yes, if you're okay.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so yesterday you've showcased, the R visualizations, and you've
Yes.
used one of the library called Word Cloud. Can we have a list of libraries where we can have like different chart types? Tableau offers more chart types compared to SAC, so we can see the different chart types.
Yeah, so basically you are asking about list of functions in a library for our libraries.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, in SAC, you might not be able to get a list, but if you go to the R language reference, then you can find it there easily. I'm trying to see, okay, let's go back to that R reference. I just want to see in the calculation editor, can I see more functions just by control space? I'm not sure if that calculation editor control space will work, but let me still try. Otherwise, of course, you have to just Google the R language libraries and you should find it there.
Okay, sure.
So you are asking about how many more types of charts I can achieve with R language?
Yes, the different charts, because we've had some, like from the business, Tableau can do that, SAC can't do this, so we just wanted to.
So give me an example, like Word Cloud is one. What is your requirement which you're trying to achieve through R?
It's one of the chart types. I can't remember the name of the chart type, but it is available in Tableau, but not in SAC.
Because if you know
like
the
a
name,
wavy
you
kind
can
of
search
chart.
with the name in our script or our language.
Okay,
Otherwise, we'll have to go through the entire list of all the chart types, which is basically your Google search.
Okay.
But
Sure.
let me try.
Actually, I just pasted a link, the R packages you can see over there.
Yeah, that's what I said. So you have to Google it and then go to the list of R packages. But what she is asking is she doesn't want to go through these packages because she doesn't know which function is used in which. She just wants to know what chart types are possible with R language.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, let me
Then
go
maybe
to the editor.
Google, we can Google.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's the only way.
No,
you
I was
can-
thinking if you have a set of libraries where, like you used word cloud similarly. I thought
Right,
you have
right,
a list
right,
of libraries, something like that, a chart library where you can access
Chart
different
library.
charts.
Yes.
That's what I was looking for.
Let's see. So if I have, see, like I loaded the library here called word cloud.
Yes.
So here, if I press control space is not working here. Okay, hold on. This is wrong thing which opened up. I'm just trying to access all the libraries from within SAC. There must be.
If you press outside the bracket, control space.
No. Okay, control space here will show you, yes, it will show you the, this is the model and then the frequency, installed packages, prints out the list of installed packages. Maybe this you can do, what installed underscore packages there. Install.packages, null, priority null, no cache. And then you have to execute this, but in library I have to put word cloud. So first I will copy this. And I'll go back. Word cloud. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there is an easy way to just see all the chart related libraries. What are the different charts? But that you have to Google.
Okay, sure, Deepanshu. That's fine. I'll try to find the name of the chart and maybe see.
Yeah, try to find the
Yeah.
name of the chart. The name, like I knew that word cloud is a chart. So I could easily find the library for word cloud. It might be there in R, what you are looking for, it might not be there. But if you have the name, that will be easier.
Okay, sure. So just one last question. When you created the calculated dimension, there was another option, measure-based dimension. What scenarios do we use that?
Oh, yes. Measure-based dimensions. Correct. I forgot to cover that. So let me tell you what it is used for. So measure-based dimension is basically used for grouping the different grouping your measures with a dimension which is not there in the model. See, in calculated dimension, what we did was we
So it's like
concatenated two
exception
dimensions,
aggregation concept.
right? But if I have to group my units sold based on a threshold, say for example, if I say if my unit sold is more than 100,000, then it is a high volume. And if it is less than 100,000, then it is a low volume. If I want to create a dimension like that, whose members are low and high, and the members will be activated based on the measure, then that is called measure-based dimension. So, okay, it might be a little difficult to understand. Let's create one. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll duplicate this quickly.
Like the Aventure, actually, if you want to see the status, for example, you want to say like high, low,
Exactly.
middle,
The status
medium.
has my high
Yes.
volume customers versus my low volume customers, but the high and low are not there. That dimension is not there. You have to create that dimension, and
Yes,
high
yes.
and low are based on measure. That's why it's called measure based dimension. So
Exactly.
let me edit the title. I'll say measure based dimension. And hopefully I should be able to use the unit sold. So what I will do is I will go to the dimension again here and add the dimension and then create calculated dimension. And there were two options here, right? This is what she's talking about, measure based dimension. So we dealt with calculated dimension where we concatenated it, but there is another one called measure based dimension. Okay, this might be sounding similar to a concept which we dealt with, which was your dimension as measures. Okay, so don't get confused. We had dimension as measures, dimension to measure. What we were doing is here we were converting the dimension property value to a numeric value, like for example, cal week or fiscal quarter or fiscal week. Because it is a number 2019-02, 2019-01, we are converting it to number. That is dimension to measure. Now it's a reverse concept, measure based dimension. So in measure based dimension, what we do is we go to add dimension, create calculated dimension, and here choose measure based dimension. And I will say here my high low volume, okay, based on units sold. So I should have covered this in the main class, but that's okay. This is in the post Q&A. So now I have to choose which measure. Measure is my unit sold, so I will choose unit sold. Now I have to create the custom members of this particular dimension because this dimension is not there in the model. So I will have to give the member name. So I'll say low is less than 100,000 and high is greater than or equal to 100,000. And this I will remove, this I don't need. So I created two members of this calculated dimension, which is a measure based dimension. Okay. Two members are low and high. And what are they based on? Unit sold measure. And what is my dimension context? Of course, my dimension, you can put dimension context. Here you can say customer wise unit sold, product wise unit sold. So what is the context of the dimension? So you can say here, we have the customer segment. Also, we have the customer segment and product segment here. So you can say customer segment wise, I need the unit sold here. That is my, and version I don't need. Okay, version by default is selected. I cannot deselect it. That's fine. But anyways, we have just one version. So customer segment wise, I need the low and high volume. And then filter context. Do you want to filter based on a story or page filter? If you want any input controls to be applicable here, right now we'll keep it simple and we'll say okay. Okay. And then what I will do is I will remove this product customer segment because this is a concatenated value. I'm going to put, now you see my high and low is my new dimension, which is based on my measure. And now what you can also do, you can put here customer segment because I had the customer segment wise, right? And then you can say in my customer segment is, let me see, this I can put as my color, but that color will come there. Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. So here I have customer segment, direct customers with high volume, and I have wholesale customers with high volume, and I have retail customers with low. Retail doesn't have a high volume. That means it didn't go more than 1,000 or 100,000 units. So you created a custom dimension with custom members based on the value of your measures. And here we don't need three of them because it is purely based on units sold. So just to avoid confusion, I'll remove this. So based on the units sold, I have my high and low here. And in the
While
measure,
creating this dimension, why it was necessary to provide the context and set it to customer segment? What would happen if we don't provide a context?
see, what will it aggregate? How will it know that you are aggregating based on product or you're aggregating based on customer or customer segment? If I just give a pure number that these are my total units sold, right? You will ask that this total unit sold is based on what? There has to be a context to that number. So that's why it is asking for a context.
Mhm.
But then we can change it as well, right? In the rows, we can use other dimensions as well.
Hmm.
Oh, you mean the context you can? Yeah, you can. So here, high,
No,
low
no, no,
volume
not
unit.
here, Devanshu. I mean, in the rows itself,
In the rows,
if we
if
want
you
to
pull in
change the
products, say for
product,
example, you set a
dimensions
context to
here.
yeah,
customer
if we
segment,
find
and now you are
dimensions,
pulling
you
in
can do it.
product,
Yeah, you
or
can change.
how will you interpret that?
So then if that dimension with which you don't have the context set, then it will be your high volume again will be number of units sold will be put as high, and product again will be hierarchical. Your mountain. So all no, but this then unit sold is less than 100,000. Yeah, then it won't make sense. Because this high and low volume is based on units sold only. And the context is given as your customer segment. And here we don't have customer, we don't have customer segment. So I think if you don't have that particular dimension, then it won't make a lot of sense. You should have for interpreting it properly, you should have the customer segment there in the dimension. Otherwise, it will be difficult because see, 36,227 is the number of units sold. This should, but this
But the
why this is
mountain-
not coming in low, but I don't know why it is coming in high also. So it doesn't make sense. This and this is not relating to each other.
What if we remove the customers in the definition of that dimension? What if we remove the customer segment and
Yeah,
let
we can
product be
do
there?
that. We can try
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
So here you are saying that let's remove the context basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's see how it interprets then.
But version you
Because
have
by
to
default
give.
it says that I'm going to filter,
Yeah,
like my
so let's
context
keep
is
it
the
only
actual.
version, for example.
Hmm.
Right? So you can put OK.
Yeah, everything is high now. Yeah, and that makes sense because all at that level, at the product level, is above
Correct.
10,000, right?
Because every product, if I go back down to no, but this is not high.
Why? 10,000, right?
100,000, not 10,000.
It's 100,000.
Oh, 100.
Is it 100,000 or is it 10,000? I thought I gave 100,000.
Yes.
Oh, 100,000. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's 100,000.
Hmm.
So again, it won't make sense.
Hmm.
I feel it's looking at only mountain and then racing that level. It's not going to the members level.
You know what it is looking at? It is looking at version. That's it. It is aggregating at a version level because the context is only version. So it has put everything into high because at a version level, will always be a summation of that one version because there is only one version. So that's
So
why everything is
Devanshu, just change the threshold high to be 250 and above, and low to be 207. Low to be 250 and below, and we can see here whether it still splits it in high or low.
I don't think
I'm
so.
believing
Yeah,
that.
sure. We can do that. But see, always keep the context in mind. Context here is only version, right? So that means it's going to aggregate as per the version, and there is only one version. So I think it will aggregate and won't take into consideration the product. But we can try. So you are saying,
Yeah, make it 250 and below. Less than 250, and this will be more than 250. Yeah. Let's see what it does, whether it splits it.
It doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't.
See, the
Okay.
context, that's why I'm saying context is the most important piece here.
Mm.
And if you lose that particular, now, if I put context as product, it will start working.
Yeah.
It is a in function in a BobJ.
In function,
and,
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
in function in a BobJ. So where you write it, if you are checking something like, if the amount is so and so in purchase order or in sales order or maybe in the sales org. So it is going to group by that.
No, here also everything is low. Because I think it is considering the individual, not at an aggregated. Yeah, it is considering the individual.
Eventually, for example, if you insert this hierarchy, can you make it flat presentation? Then we can see.
Yeah.
Mm.
Then it will be the products.
Yeah, maybe let's see what happens.
Yeah, everything is low. That's why. So now if I go back,
Goes at the lowest.
yeah, goes at the lowest. Exactly. Now if I do less than or greater than 20,000.
50,000. Yeah.
Is it
20,000. No, 50,000 is the.
Do we have 20,000 lesser amounts or everything is greater than 20,000? Yeah,
Everything is greater than 20,000.
Yes, so 50,000 is the correct one. Yes, you're right. So what we'll do is 50,000 and here also 50,000. Yeah, now it.
Now remove product from the context and see what happens in the definition. Yeah, just let a version be.
It doesn't matter what the aggregation is. It is always
No.
lowest level,
In the
right?
definition of the measure-based dimension, like if you go there, if in
You mean
With the
in
calculation.
the context? You want to change?
yeah
the
yeah
context?
in the context, yeah.
Okay, let me do Control Z. So what do you want to do? You want to remove the product.
Yeah, remove product and let's have
No,
version
again,
only
it will
version.
be everything will be as high.
Let's see. Oh, so you need
Context
to.
is very important, and context is because version is the context. Everything as far as the version granularity is concerned, it is more than your 50,000. In fact, if you put it to 250,000 also, then also it will be everything high.
But if we have a version of plan,
Yes.
Then
If
it
you
will
have,
break.
then you have to have that version in the dimensions here or in the columns here somewhere, and then it will be easily identifiable. In fact, if you have a chart, you can use for color also this one, right? So say for example, what I wanted to show you was, so if I go back quickly here and put back the context, sorry, high volume, okay. So with version, I'm going to put customer segment back to original one, and here we will say your 100,000, and then this is also your 100,000, okay, and then I'll say okay. And this one, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this, and then I'm going to put a chart. So on the chart, in fact, it is also possible for color if you want to do that. So what we'll do is we will put a chart, and in the chart we will configure, make it slightly bigger. Okay. So we have one measure, we will have units sold because that's what we are using as our base for the measure based dimension. And then in the dimension, I will use customer segment. Where is my customer segment? In the properties. Okay. And then in the color, I can add a dimension or measure, and which is going to be my calculated dimension, which is my high-low volume units. So this will give even better. On charts, usually it works really well. So now you can see we have direct customers, retail customers, and wholesale customers. But because of the high-low volume as my calculated dimension, it's a color coded. So now I immediately know that the direct customers are my high volume for units sold, and my wholesale is my high volume, but retail is the low volume. So this also, and then it's a good way to show a color contextualization based on the calculated dimension. That also you can do. Okay. On the table, it might not make sense if you don't have the correct dimension, but on the chart, because there is a color, and in the color you can add dimension or measures as well. There you can use the calculated dimension. Okay.
Can we use an input control for the dimensions here?
Sorry?
Can we use an input control for the
Yes,
context
you
dimension?
can. So because when we went to the, if you remember when we edited the calculation when we were creating this, we have the filter context. And in the filter context, you can put the dimension, and the value for that dimension can be an input control as well.
So I leave the dimension context as version only, and the filter context I'll put the.
No. See, the version, this has to be accordingly because the aggregation will happen based on this. All these are your further aspects. Forget about this. First, you have to keep in mind that low and high should be defined at what granularity and aggregation. If you have not said that, then your filters, your input controls will not work, because the aggregation will still happen at a version level. And then even if you do it at a filter context level, the aggregation is still going to happen at a version level. Yeah, maybe because of the input control, the values might lessen, but the aggregation will still happen at the version. So if you don't set the aggregation correctly, then it might not give you intended result. So first set that, and then yes, you can make it dynamic based on the input control now. Okay, Sal, go ahead.
Yes, Devanshu. So, like on somebody asked before if it is possible to export data to Excel in the table mode, but there's a limitation of 500 rows when you export data. Is there a way to, is there a way to disable that limitation so we can export all the data from the table? Remember, like there's a parameter that we have to
That's an important point, Sal. I didn't know that.
I think there.
I think in system configuration, something like that.
Yeah,
There is an
exactly.
option, yes.
Because I remember that we also faced long time back. We also faced this issue, and SAP came back saying that there is a system configuration where you can increase the number of rows from 500. I just have to find it out, but I think it is there.
Yes, it's there, as you mentioned. It's available.
You say it's part of the system configuration?
Now, it should be part of system configuration.
Yes, here. Just scroll down, I think. And commenting is there. Something like
here. Okay, let me search with export.
Export package size for export.
Somewhere it is there. I think it is there. Name commenting, list of threads, avoid session timeout.
So is it by default 500 rows are displayed? That is why it is taking 500 as a
Yes.
Yeah, the default is 500. Just to keep things, optimized and performance. But you can override. I have to find it out exactly where it is.
Basically, Devanshu, when there is a table at the time of viewing the data more than 500 rows or whatever, you will get an option at that time to increase or to keep the standard. So you will get that option there once if you cross that. So you will not see by default. You will not see by default. But if rows are increased, then you can see it in the dashboard in edit mode. Then you need to edit that.
Yeah, the thing is, not I don't always get the warning. So I was trying to see if there's a way to predetermine the number of lines.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can set that one. Once if you cross that one, once if you set that one, it will be fixed forever. But first time,
where do you see that, Shiva?
You can't see here, but if number of rows increases more than 500 or set limit, then you will get an option below the filter, icon, page filter icon. You will get a pop-up thing. And
this one?
No, below filter.
In a table. In a table as well. Yes.
Page filter. I think I remember it's a below page filter section. You will get that one.
Actually, it's it's a table details. And the table details option is enabled, and then you can increase, for example, more than 500 and unlimited. Actually, I used it. I did it. Actually, it was unlimited as well.
Yes, you have custom,
I know we can
default,
do
and
that.
unlimited.
Where exactly? Can you tell me here?
You can't.
Show height table details normally, but because you don't have that much data, you won't see that warning.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's right.
Until the rows exceed, it won't.
Enabled. So table details are basically your.
For example, you can change any dimension here. Then if the data is more than 500 rows, then it should be displayed.
Okay. So say for example, I will put. Let me not do that here. Let me create a duplicate of this.
Duplicate page, exactly.
Yeah. Let's not. Let me not do that here. Okay, so I will create a duplicate of this, and we'll call it
order something.
Okay. And I will remove that. So product customer segment I'll remove. I'll just put something very granular. Maybe we'll put
order ID.
Order ID. Yeah, order ID.
Okay, then you can see here's an option here, just like a triangle.
That's one triangle.
In a table.
Yes. This one.
Just click here.
This one.
Just click edit drill limitation.
Yeah, I was looking for this exactly.
And then just click here. Then just go to this yes, exactly.
Custom.
Not custom.
Yes.
I think maybe custom,
and
or
then
maybe you can try it. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
What else here? Which kind of options here you can see?
But there is no option in the overall, like on the SAC level, tenant level. No, right?
No, I don't think so. No. There's only these options in a drop-down boxes. You can try this.
Okay. So very surprising. You have only 500 rows by default visible. Isn't it?
It's not 500 rows. It's just cells. 30,000 cells. I mean, 10,000 cells is recommended. You can increase that one.
Yes.
Yeah. See, because this SAC dashboard or report is viewed on different devices. So they have to keep it optimized in a way that it should not overlap, the widget should not overlap with each other, and it should be presentable. So that's why they have to set a number of cells or number of rows which you can. But yes, you can override that. You can override that.
Yes, actually, we are planning during planning here in a live live connection, something like that. There's an option unlimited. You can use. Yes, exactly. There is an option.
But the more rows you have, when you will render this particular story, it might take more time to refresh or more time to load.
Exactly. That is a problem, but that's why I think that by default is 500. That's why.
Exactly.
the SSC or
Exactly.
SSC
Because
GP
if they
software.
allow everything, then yes, you might see the data, but it might come after 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, because it is rendering all that data. So that's why they keep it limited. No, that's great. Thank you for that. I was trying to remember where exactly we can change that, but it is not, unfortunately, at a. I thought it is at a tenant level, but it is not. It is at an individual table level. Yes.
At the
Yes.
tenant level, we have package size for export 50,000. Devanshu.
Yes.
That's the only
Yeah,
Yes.
that is the export
Yeah.
size. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Export size 50,000. You can also change while doing the individual export and also at a tenant level. Yes. Both will give you that option.
When you say
Great.
tenant level, what you mean exactly? Sorry, I didn't get it there.
Tenant level means at an overall system configuration level.
Okay.
When I
The
say
system.
system configuration, I am talking about the entire tenant. See, what is a tenant? Tenant is basically the SAC server assigned to me. That is my tenant.
Okay.
Some other customer might be assigned a different SAC server that is called their tenant. So it's basically one particular installation of SAC, which is called a tenant. In cloud terminology, it is called tenant. So when I say tenant level, that means I am going to overall system level administration versus the individual the individual widget or individual model or those kind of individual object level. So that's the difference. Shiva, I think we'll take one last question and then we'll stop for today. But really, some great discussions. I hope I could have done this in the main class. What I'll try to do is at least the measure-based dimension, which is an important concept. I will also discuss in the main class tomorrow, just to reiterate, because when we will do the refresher for the main class, I'm going to show this again, just by doing it again, so that people who are subscribed to main class and not to the recordings, they will also get it. It's a very, very important functionality to know. But other things, yes, those we can have in post-game. Yes, go
Devanshu,
ahead.
this option can be also achieved via pagination instead of increasing the cells or the number of rows in a table. Pagination, it will show via page-wise, right? It might display all the records in a table.
But I think pagination is not possible in optimized design experience. There is only possible. I think it is possible in classic.
No, I think, yeah, Canvas, it is possible, not in responsive page. In a Canvas page, it is possible.
Okay.
So pagination is another way to organize the data. If there is a huge data, basically that's what they are talking about. Pagination is a concept where you can have multiple pages for a particular table, usually for the table, where you can see more than 500 records or more than the visible record into different pages. Yes, that's also another way to see the data. But when you will export the data out, then that limitation will still kick in. That number of rows limitation will still kick in. But it's a good way to organize it when you are viewing the data. But that will not override the limitation there. Shiva, go ahead. Shiva, you have your hand raised. Do you have a question? Guess not. Sal, you were asking something. Do you still have a question?
No, I'm okay. The thing is, I have a use case where I get more than 500 lines, and for some reason I'm not getting the warning. I think
in the table you're not getting the warning?
Correct. I'm getting another warning though, like about a hierarchy. So I'm not sure if you have two warnings, one precedes the other. Correct. So I'll keep looking.
Send me that also in an email. Send me the screenshot and I'll try to see what's happening there.
Will do. Thank you.
No problem. Last question, guys. Madhu.
Yeah, can I? Yeah, it's if I'm doing an operational reporting, if I am using for operational reporting, and we have a lot of sending a data as an email, either PDF or Excels or whatever it may be, scheduled through, especially the BobJ kind of reports, maybe.
Yes.
We don't have a limitation. We have a very good amount of the data. It's downloading, and somebody is sending spreadsheets and all that. Is it a 50,000? BobJ, we used to have a limitation of a cell limitation. It's not a rows limitation.
Yeah. Cell. Even
Is it
that
a
is
cell
there with
limitation
BW
here?
also.
Oh, here also cell limitation. So we
Yes.
cannot send it if we are sending as an email or downloading it to the server. Say instead of an email, so I can give it as a file share network or something.
Yes.
I think still it's going to limit, right?
Well, when the warning comes, then you can override that, and then you can download it, and you can send it in a network drive. But if you are not getting that warning, then that limitation will definitely kick in, and you cannot send more than that.
More than that, okay. Yeah, sometimes depend upon the selection, we don't know.
Yes.
We don't know the cell limitation, how it's going to come, to set it up prior, say 50,000 or 100,000, whatever it may be.
That's
So
right.
we have a heavy operational reports.
And they need to be sent as an email attachment.
Email sometimes, if it is a big files, they go as
Then download in Excel, and then upload on the network drive.
Yeah.
SharePoint.
Or directly we schedule to directly and save the data on a network drives.
Correct. Yeah, you can do that, but you should get that warning first, which will enable you to overwrite. I will still try to find out if there is a system-wide setting to overcome that limitation. I didn't find it in the administration, but there might be somewhere else some option. So I'll try to see, and if I find it, I'll let you know, Mani.
I think someone told, I think it's better to go if you are going on a responsive page. I think more restriction, that kind of a downloading stuff. I think if you go on a Canvas page.
Correct. Canvas page is just like your Crystal reports.
Yeah.
On the BO side, where you'll have more flexibility for those customizations and the download and the number of rows. Why responsive is limited is because it has to cater to multiple devices, and that's why it has to put some restrictions around it.
And yeah, thank you. And one last question is when we created all the calculated measures, the calculations or everything, I do see a lot of we can do a custom scripting, if statements and whatever concat.
Yes, you
all
can.
that stuff. So if we are doing that, I think you don't have to mention that on the top, saying that it's a calculated column or calculated measure or something, like whatever we did in a measure based calculation. You can write a if statement of so and so. If my order value equal to less than or equal to so and so, it's a low, high equal to high, something. So it goes to that level of granularity and then do it.
Well, in measure-based model, yes, those thresholds can be defined, right?
We don't have to
you can
mention
have multiple thresholds there defined. But if you want to write an if statement, that is possible with the calculated measure.
With the calculator.
Where you can write if statements.
Yeah, and just try to take it as a calculated measure and then if statement, and you do whatever you like to use it.
Yes.
It's the same thing in a measure-based one, like whatever we try to achieve as a version or something. See, here is at least one character is a minimum, in something, right? So that means it's going to use the group by function there. No matter what, it does the
Correct.
remember.
We saw that because when we brought in product, it was still grouping by the version.
Yeah, version, because if you selected that, in function, it's in BobJ actually.
The group by, yes, in the group by function.
So no matter what, it does it.
Yes, that's right. Because the context, right? That's why the context is very, very important to give the correct context here. If you don't give it here, then the values will not make sense to you.
So the reason in a BobJ works in a different way is sometimes you have in a 2 tabs, you have a query, like, we pulled a lot of characteristics, like, sometimes whether you need it or whether you don't need it, you pull a lot of characteristics. And then, but on a one page, you want some kind of a grouping. Since you have that in the overall in the query, it doesn't work properly. Like, that summation,
It
so
conflicts
whatever
with
it
each
is.
other. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. So then we use the calculated column, like calculated measure. They call it
Yeah.
variable in
Yeah.
Bob.j, and then
Yeah.
use the in function. Do that, in sales or in company code in customer of so and so segment. Then it does the same kind of client side aggregation kind of stuff.
And your in will basically be the filter for your calculation, and
Yeah.
that you can achieve here with the filter context. If you
Yeah,
want to
that's
put a page filter or a story filter, or if you want to drive it with a input control, like you want sales org wise, or if you want customer wise, product wise, you can do that. You can filter the data, but the aggregation will still happen at a context
that level.
level.
At that level, yes.
Exactly.
Like if you can use a two or three, same like here,
Yes,
version customer segment or something. There also you can use a in function so and so.
that's true. And one more thing you can do, you will have where I showed you the simple calculation. There you can have cell level calculations, right? We used to have cell editor in BW.
Oh yeah.
Where we used to have rows and columns, and then the cells were created. Similarly, here also, you can have cell level calculations by writing the formula in the cell. So here, if I want to do that, I can just come here and I can say add a particular column, just a simple column, no calculation, just a simple column which will have a blank column, and then you enable the formula bar. And in the formula bar for this blank column, you can write your own calculations, like your E2 divided by your F2.
Yeah, F2 divided by 1.
And then something else. All those things you can easily do it.
Yeah, best example for that is like, you can write your plan if you have a 1 year data.
Yes.
First to show if you are in a current month, show an actual, and rest to show the plan, so and so. We always write that kind of a cell editor kind of a formula to
Correct. So cell formulas are also possible here with your formula bar.
And one last, I'm sorry, I know
No, go ahead. I'll take that as a last one.
Can we go with the if condition? Like, in Bob.j, we can write it as a where sales document type equal to so and so, or like, some other where conditions. Can we do that in the if statement? Like, if I'm writing in a pure formula based, I'm not selecting it any of the standard, either calculated, restricted, or anything. If I go to write a formula, but I want to write my own custom formula, if statements. In that if statement, can I put a if conditions? Where condition? Yeah. In Bob.j, these are all possible in Bob.j.
Yeah, because Bob.j is a freehand SQL you can write there. But here, you can write if conditions, yes. So if my one condition is satisfied, then what you want to do, else what you have to do. If you want to put where, okay?
At the end, like, it will come where the document type equal to so and so, then only you do this.
For
condition.
that, you create an input control. So create an input control and use that input control in your formula. So basically, indirectly, what you are saying is apply the formula where my input control value is true.
Okay.
Then you are giving a user that option. The user will choose, say, for example, my product XYZ. So if my product is XYZ, or sorry, if the condition is satisfied, but my filter condition is my product XYZ, then only that particular formula will happen. So you can combine the if statements or the formulas with a input control to make it more dynamic. And there your basically where condition is your filtering, and filtering will happen through input controls. So you can connect an input control to your calculated formula.
Thank you. I'll try that.
Sure. Okay, guys, I think we are way over time, so I will stop here for today. We're going to save the story so that we don't lose it. Thank you so much for attending the post-session Q&A. And next class, I have a good news that I will show you the live connectivity with BW Query and also with HANA CVs. Now, HANA CVs, I am not sure whether it will be HANA Cloud, Access Advanced, or the on-prem. So we are trying to figure out whatever works. I'll try to show from there. So we'll see how a live connectivity works and how we can create a story on a live connectivity quickly.
All right. Thank you, Devanshu. Thank you.
Thank you, Devanshu. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you very much, guys.
Devanshu,
Yes.
I'm really sorry.
Asif, yeah, go ahead, Asif.
I'm really sorry, but I had a question on the discussion what we were having for the last 10 to 15 minutes. Very short question. I think in the last Q&As you had mentioned that broadcasting is available in SAC, right?
Yes, the scheduled publication.